Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again. We're here for the SDO. It's the Shanghai Dota 2 Open number 2, Season 2, whatever you want to call it. But we're in game number 3 this time around. It's LGD.FY Young facing off against ehome. My goodness gracious, I can't wait. It all comes down to this. Winner moves on to face CDEC. And, of course, the winner of that series will move on to face Newbie in the Grand Finals, best of 5. All these matches are going to be taking place tomorrow. But right now, we're going to be looking at this game, and PqMz, you're joining me through this. What do you think so far about the draft? It was a Batrider first pick into an Oracle, OD, and the Earth Spirit. Any thoughts that are coming out for you immediately?
I feel like ehome got baited. Like, playing Batrider into these two heroes was a literal nightmare. Just at all stages of the game. And it's not even like they're just two counter picks. They have an amazing synergy together as well. Oracle can sustain pretty much the entire team through pushes with the OD aura. Never has to worry about mana issues in team fights. And on top of that, they just both do a jack ton of damage. So, I don't know. I think this is probably the strongest opening in the game. If you can get these two heroes, I would favor you in most drafts.
Well, we'll see if they can.
That's how they round it out.
Is it just because of the Batrider in the pool, or is it because of like what these heroes offer outside of the, being able to mess with the lasso?
It's outside of the Batrider because you have the luxury of picking pretty much any core because you have two saves, and Oracle works very well with a lot of heroes, Huskar being one of them, but you can never really initiate cleanly into these heroes because if OD's in the front lines, you initiate on him, Oracle saves him. If you find the Oracle, then OD can save him, and it just makes your life hell to play against. I think the way you do play against it is heroes like Spirit Breaker, Spectre, like Global Presence, and just general chaos in fights. But when it's very structured engagements, I just feel like if that team knows what they're doing and they aren't massively behind through the laning stage, team fighting, it's just impossible. That's how I feel, at least. In practice, it's sometimes doable.
Yeah, and I think that it really also, you start to look at some of these heroes that are able to give you a vision advantage. You think about the bounty hunters, you think about the Rickies. Interestingly enough, ehome are opting to ban them out themselves. I guess this is because they don't want to have to contend with it against the Batrider since they're going to be picked early, but I feel like almost you want to leave it for yourself. They're going to take the Beastmaster, so another way with which to try and disrupt that vision game, which has become more and more paramount. What do you think about something like a Night Stalker? Do you think that it's worth it enough to disrupt the vision to even take that as a hero, or is that hero just completely dead?
No, Night Stalker is definitely not dead, but this game, they'd have a fairly clunky lineup running it, just because they've got Earth Spirit and Batrider, so the 4 positions already taken up, the off lane's already taken up. You could run the Batrider mid, but that hero does not do well against OD mid. Or at least I don't think it does, but I imagine there's some mod where Batrider gets kills in that lane if the OD is greedy with his Astral. Or the Earth Spirit rotates in at good times.
Well, ehome still have their combo right here, as you've got the Batrider blink and the Lifestealer hopping out afterwards. So a couple of different vehicles with which to find a fight. But Ogre Magi is going to be a pick. A big tanky guy in the mid lane to mess around with mid.
And the attack speed for the OD in conjunction with the Beastmaster aura. They're definitely setting up for some, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Steroiding. Oh my god, Tinker again. I think it is so hard to play Tinker into Beastmaster. It's ambitious.
Yeah, well, you said that they didn't need to pick it with their last pick. Just the hero that they need to win the game, but they're still doing it with their 4th pick now. So is this solve the problem that you had?
I think I am being slightly biased because I just think that opening's way too strong. But ehome definitely have a super solid draft. Like Lifestealer Batrider is a very, very strong duo. It puts a lot of pressure on you at times when Oracle and OD aren't at their strongest. So you can definitely exploit that window in conjunction with the fact Earth Spirit can initiate on one target, silence that hero, Batrider can lasso the other, and you blow that hero up. So there's definitely ways to make it work. This hero I don't quite understand, but I'm
Oh.
sure it will enlighten us as the game goes on.
All right, so this is what I'm seeing here, and please
It's
correct.
really good against OD, I suppose, with the ward.
I don't think that
Maybe.
you're going to be running the Pugna mid, certainly, but in the later
As a
stages of the
support.
game, it does start to become that issue. I think
5 seconds
this is going to
remaining.
be just a constantly pulling Pugna and then eventually
Faceless
trying to
Void.
take down that tower early. Faceless Void is the answer. Oh, man, they don't have a great way to contend with him, I don't think. I guess it all just comes down to the Battler Lassos, but I'm excited to see a LAN and Pugna. This is awesome.
See, I love that you can be excited for it, and I'm just like, why did they ruin their draft of this hero?
All right, well, what
It
don't
feels
you
so
like about him?
disynergistic. It like when you have Lifestealer, it just feels so disynergistic. And it's a hero that is extremely squishy in a game where Oracle can kind of two-shot you. That's how squishy your hero is. What it gives you is the ability to take towers off of your small-scale engagements, which is definitely something they were lacking. I suppose the ward against OD is extremely
10
valuable in
seconds
fights as
remaining.
well. But they do have the Beastmaster Hawk, so they can always
5
find the ward.
seconds
It's just a matter of
remaining.
them getting to it to kill it.
I almost wonder now if this is sort of the answer is from like, is this just the amplified is that way Tinker can
Prepare
go for
for
an
battle.
earlier Dagon and just start finding kills around the map? Like, is that the play?
I highly doubt that's the case. I feel like you still want to go for the Aether Lens. Maybe not Ags this game, but the problem with Pugna in that theory is he has to be in position for that to happen. And Tinker's probably the most mobile hero in the game with BOTs. Pugna is not. Sure, he's a pretty quick, small little skeleton man, but he's a 5-position support this game. Maybe a 4-position, but we'll be generous and say he's 4. He's still not getting like Blink Dagger BOTs to move around with the Tinker.
I guess the other part of this, though, is if you look at the damage from LFY, it almost all comes from Super on this OD. So if you do
30
just decrep
seconds to
him,
battle.
he can't do anything, really. He's going to have to astral himself and hope that he doesn't, you know, he's going to end up being able to wear it off. Like, if you're OD, do you start to try and build into something to take the decrep off of you, or you just kind of have to accept it?
You'll get BKB at some point, maybe even a Lincoln's, depending how you feel the game's going, so the initial decrep doesn't hit or something, but
The battle begins.
it's not just the OD, there's still Void, and Oracle does an insane amount of damage.
To have this.
So if you want to save a hero with decrep, chances are you're just making Purifying Flames hit 50% harder.
Yeah, but I mean more just that, like, you can make it so OD can't attack is the big thing there.
Yeah. I see that. It's just a less effective version of Oracle, in my opinion, in that case. And you also have to get quite close to decrep that target, and you're very, very squishy. So do you want to risk that happening
Yeah.
in team fights? It's not that feasible. Because most of the times, LFY are going to be initiating with like a Raw, you're going to start hitting with the OD, and then Void's going to come in, get a Chrono, and if you're in range to decrep the OD, you're in range to get Chronoed. And another thing to note is like Void and Oracle have insane synergy as well. Like the amount of survivability that you get through a Void and Oracle is insane. And the damage to pump into Chrono as a support as well. I really like this lineup. It's one of the more nicely crafted ones that I've seen. And you've got the attack speed bonus from the Ogre in conjunction with the Void, so he gets a lot of steroiding. I just really like this lineup.
Well,
Maybe I'm
see. It'll
fanboying
work
it too
out.
much.
No, I don't think so. It's fine. If you like the thing, then go for it. Okay, it's all good. For me, I think that it's just interesting to see Pugna get picked. I don't expect that you take this hero unless you have something in particular in mind. Like, there, as you're saying, a less effective version of Oracle as far as Fate's Edict is concerned. So what is it that really they're going to be looking for? And to me, taking this early point in Netherward, it speaks to what the game plan is. Like, Oracle is probably just going to kill himself if he does start spamming out the Purifying Flames and other heals. So I want to see what that interaction looks like, how much damage they're able to do, because that's something else to keep in mind is, you know, these heroes out of LFY use a lot of mana.
Yeah, mostly the OD. When he gets into the later stages of the game without a BKB, right-clicking with an Everward down is effectively more damage to you than it is to the hero you're hitting. And on top of the tower push, I can definitely see it working. It's just, it's not conventional. And when things aren't conventional, you question them because they're not conventional for a reason.
Well, the roll in now, Zhao Wait. Fine convention. Lanham wants to find himself a. Oh, they can't really go for the Nether Blast there. Oh, catch. Yeah, first blood.
Does that not get purged?
First blood.
I guess not. I was wondering if that was going to happen or not, but I guess.
I thought I understood this hero, and now I question life again.
Maybe it doesn't purge off the invis. I don't know, or maybe he just didn't end up hitting him. It did look like it hit him.
I mean, it's not the primary target that gets purged. It's everything in the area. So I'm really curious how that didn't purge the invis, because he definitely got hit. Because that's unfortunate. That would have been a nice another free kill. On top of the other ones that they're already getting, like Tinker's having a bit of problems. OD is really good setup for any roaming heroes to come in. Pretty even lane though. It can be annoying both ways. Lots of disruptive capability between Astral and Laser.
Roaming heroes here as Yao and LPC have moved in towards this top lane to try and mess around a little bit with 11. And they are going to at least be able to catch him with the Fortune's End, but no follow-up. But this has left the bottom lane completely open for Sylar to farm, and we've seen what a Lifestealer can do if left to his own devices. Do you think that they start thinking ehome about pushing down this tower? You've got the Pugna here, you got a little bit of a Cardi as well. It's about on that 4-minute mark. What do you think?
I think they'd rather wait for a while just because it opens up the Ogre to come back down here and get free experience, free last hits under a tier 2, unless they pull the wave back. They don't really gain anything from pushing it immediately, so I like the fact they're playing a bit greedier and getting more pulls off. Because if you're going to run a support Pugna, you need to get levels on the hero. It's extremely key. Farm is definitely nice, but you want levels. And then when you get level 7, you just go push, like a madman. And you fight around that Nether Ward, because that's the strongest timing you hit with this hero. And Nyx hits a similar timing, because around then you probably have your phase and armlet. Batrider should have some form of initiation. If not, then they'll just use Earth Spirit as a vehicle. He can roll in, bring the Life Stealer, and then Pugna can push the tower when there's dead heroes there not defending it. I can definitely see it working out.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea, I guess. And well, 11 is stacking up the jungle. Currently level 4 for himself, and we'll probably be able to soak up a good amount of experience over here as the creep wave is pushing. Monet, really a great way to stop that from happening. And I'm just going to pull the creeps back over towards his way and also try and take out a hard camp at the same time. The classic Batrider plays that we all love to see.
Yeah, the access to the hard camp makes this hero so much better in this lane now. Ever since they changed the way the hard camps worked, off lanes have become way more interesting.
Well, meanwhile, looking like it might be, well, the Beastmaster roaming through. He doesn't have level 6 yet, so wants to finish off jungling until he'll have that, and probably make a move into mid lane to find a kill.
Yeah, that's a really easy setup with Astral.
I'll take that.
And with the aura and imagining Ogre gets there as well, they actually have good pushing potential early. They might not take the full tower depending how ehome react, but they can do damage for sure. Oh, and if they contest this stack.
This would be huge if they're able to find it. Yao is going to walk up here, and if he just soaks up some experience, that's probably good enough as it is. He's going to get level 5 off of this at the very least, and now it's the Hawk going to start to fall. They are coming in and trying to take a couple of these creeps. Does he get it, though? Ogre takes one, and actually he's going to get stunned. Does not have the ability to kill off that Ogre.
No, that's good enough for a contest. Because they don't lose any of their own resource, and they only gain out of that.
Well, good stuff.
I like the fact they didn't go too all in, because a lot of times you see that where it's like, what was that, like a 4 or 5 stack? It's like, oh shit, we have to contest this, because it's like too good of an opportunity to give up. And then you just forget that it's actually not worth moving 5 heroes for that 5-stack.
This is a little bit scary. The Chronosphere drops down. Old 11 still alive in the middle of it, but I think that he is going to end up falling. They take that kill, but the Earth Spirit able to walk away. So not the end of the world. Chronosphere was dropped. They did not have to use the roar from Zhao 8 yet, though.
It's not the best initial gank for them because they're not. It doesn't look like they're getting the tower off it. So 2 hero smoke ganked. Move towards the chrono that probably would have gotten the kill anyway. Not the most efficient stuff from LFY.
Sylar currently getting himself a nice bit of farm as well. It's getting close to this 8-minute mark, and it doesn't really feel like the side of ehome want to try and make any moves around the map. Like Guardian here, he can roll in, but everybody is just very tanky, and they've got a lot of different survivability on their team. But the rotation, Zhao 8, Haste Rune, Sylar in a little bit of trouble, is going to get popping his rage and jumps inside. Not going to be able to jump inside the creep as of yet. They're on the wrong side. It's not in the trees. They're not going to be able to find it. He's trying to turn around and face off against them. Meanwhile, Lanham steals him, jumps inside the Beastmaster's boar, and the Oracle's gonzo. Nicely done right there, man. Lanham saved him, I think, and able to make that work.
Oh, that was so fucking clowny. I have never seen that. That's actually amazing. Not that it mattered, because he wasn't actually going to die there, but that was brilliant. Push the creeps away so he doesn't get the chance to infest. And then you give him a boar to infest and he kills you anyway. Oh, good stuff.
Meanwhile, up in the top lane, the Fatigue's going to keep Monet alive. That is a little bit better, but man, what a interesting start to this game. And still, we haven't really seen the Pugna do a ton. He did a lot right there for them, but this is going to be the first instance of them really trying to push with this Nether Blast.
He doesn't have the most sustain, so it doesn't look like they're going to get too much damage on the tier 2. Just pick up Arcane, so this hero is like so mana hungry.
Well, and also a huge mana pool, almost 1,000 already is only 740 HP.
I mean, he has 4.5 ink gain.
So crazy.
Don't quote me, but it might be the highest in the game.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I just play the game. I don't care about these stupid stat gains and shit. You just kind of know as a player. Exact numbers, you know, they're for statisticians, and statisticians are irrelevant, right?
God. weren't you a statistician for a while? Am I remembering that correctly?
No, I just played Dota and then I started casting.
Okay, fair enough. Well, the rotation in towards the camp, they've been able to find Old 11. Creeps are just being pushed all over the map this game, and I think that this is going to end up being a kill. 5 heroes. They even dropped a Chronosphere for this, so a very heavy commitment.
The kill order just got awkward if they didn't, and they're all there, so they can translate it into the trying to get the tower. I don't mind that they use it there, because it's a 2-minute cooldown that you aren't going to have too big a team fights at this stage. Sure, ehome might play around the fact that it's now down and convert more heroes up there to fight them. But if it was still available, they probably wouldn't do that. And you'd rather have the money, especially when you're going for this Lincoln's build-up. You want to get that item as soon as possible so you can start building into damage items.
11 minutes in, 2-4. It's really not been the highest kill fiesta that we've been seeing throughout. I mean, I guess it hasn't really been a ton throughout any of the games previously, but yeah,
we need more Spirit Breaker.
That's true. That was a pretty great match. Gonna block that hard camp.
Dire's top tower
and still, everything a little bit scary as Guardian, Spidey senses tingling, is gonna head out of there.
I only just noticed this, but Zhao 8's playing the Beastmaster.
Oh yeah.
Yao is not the support player for the team. He is the offlane player, and I'm pretty sure he plays Beastmaster.
Yeah, well, you know, these things happen.
I feel so sorry for Yao. He just got demoted to support. Oh, that feels bad, man.
He got promoted to Ogre. That's what it really comes down to.
No, dude. He got demoted. Yeah, if you have less farm priority, it's a demotion. You can't look at it any other way. It's an insult to your player skill.
Over
they don't trust him enough.
Jungle, they've caught LPC, and He does get the Fate's Edict off, which is going to keep him a little bit more tanky. Faceless Void actually taking the haster now, and ehome is diving fairly deep for this. They're going to be able to kill off the Oracle, and now this is a very awkward engagement. Zhao 8, they might go for this initiation. Lanham is here as well. They aren't going to be able to find him as of yet, and there's the roll in. No stun. He's up on the high ground. All right, Yao is gonna TP out, and can they find the kill? He's not quite gonna go down. Oh, lordy.
You see that decrap that stopped your hardest hitting hero from hitting him, so he didn't TP out? You know, just saying.
Oh,
Perhaps not very synergistic with Lifestealer. It's still a really good fight for them, though. This Void does not know how to bash, which is a huge problem. Because that's like, he doesn't hit very hard if his third skill doesn't come into the game.
That's true. Oh man, and this actually, it might be an opportunity for him to do it. They are going to pull back in Yao, all grouped up together. It's a big Chronosphere opportunity if they want to go for it, but not throwing for it as of yet. Monet. All right, they're going to call off the charge, and they just take the Ogre. Lanham hitting pretty hard on these towers.
Yeah, they're hitting a peak now, and they're doing it well. Tinker's not really necessary. He's going to have the super sick timing on his blink. He's 1500 towards it already at 13 minutes, which is a much better start than the Tinker we saw the other game. And if ehome are the ones kind of setting the pace of the game, then Tinker can always TP in and just be that very efficient fifth man to fights. Whereas LFY, they don't have the luxury of that. They have to commit all the heroes if they want to go for an engagement.
Middle tower is under attack.
The draft's just not working as well as they would like.
Oh, I think Lanham, well, he realizes that they might be coming over his direction and is going to run out of there.
That
was scary. They're not going to be able to find it, though. They just take the tier 1 tower at the same time, so pretty nice play for them. And they're going to be fine. They're good to go.
Yeah, it's about time they started taking some towers. It's a very important part of their draft with the Beastmaster. They need to make as much space around the Roche pit as possible as well, so they can actually get that at some point. I feel like if ehome get Roche, it's going to be a nightmare for them. Because their initiation tools are very long cooldown, single target heavy. Sure, Chrono can hit multiple heroes, but at the end of the day, you're focusing one hero in it. They don't have the AoE that a lot of teams do. To dump into it, you know, there's no Leshrac, etc.
I'm looking at this also. I'm trying to figure out for ehome, Aether Lens, if they get that up on the Lanham, it almost feels like it's sort of a lineup where he's the main source of just the damage on the towers. Like, Sylar is there, sure, but I don't know. It's always very scary for me to see those melee heroes go up and try and knock down the towers, particularly when you're thinking about going for high ground. Bat Rider is just stalking in towards mid, waiting for a TP rotation.
It's always scary to fight into, like, when you TP in and they
roll it in. They're going to be able to find it. Oh, pretty good Astral, but I think that's going to be able to be enough to keep Seeper alive. They drop the Chronosphere onto 4. Oh no, this is going to be a lot of damage going back their way, but they kill off Monet. He's gone, and now 3 dead. Oh my god. How do you not find that kill in the midst of that Chronosphere? Not enough damage.
Okay, so you check the fight recap and you look at PqMz damage.
Oh my god! OD, why? That was a whole lot.
You definitely don't press R on that hero when the level 3 never ward down.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's so much damage dealt to himself.
And that's a Veil now, so that damage is getting an extra third on top of it. I mean, I questioned the pick, but when it works, it's definitely super strong. It's just a very unstable hero a lot of games. And I think it's mostly working out just because Lifestealer and Batrider can set the pace of the game. Especially when it's a pace that LFY aren't comfortable with. Their OD's not getting the farm he wants. Void wants a Linken's by this stage of the game. He's not too far away from it, but they'd rather have a slower pace to let their cores come online.
Yeah.
They're by no means doing badly, but I imagine it starts to pick up a bit more now when ehome are about to just get another round of items.
And I'm looking at this sort of lineup too, and it just does sort of feel like they don't have that fighting, initiating hero right at the start outside of committing a long cooldown ultimate. Like, Xiao Wei, you think about the axe, you think about a Kunkka, you think about, in this instance, even just a rolling boulder forward with Sylar inside of it. These types of small-scale initiations have been really emblematic of how teams are playing Dota now, and they just don't have that. So, gotta commit so heavily in towards the fights, and it goes wrong. It goes really terribly wrong. And towards mid, they're going to be able to pull in Super. He's in some trouble now as the laser comes out, as well as some rockets, but unable to get into range, and there it is. There's the initiation that they wanted. Super's Gonzo. Guardian killing spree.
Really important kill. And to be fair, Batrider's initiation is like on the same cooldown as Beastmaster's. It's just
Dire's middle tower is
before you
under
get
attack.
Blink on Beastmaster, it's a lot harder to get the initiation. And if you don't go for the Blink, you're a lot stronger in team fights. But if you go for the Blink, then you have a Necro 1 at 18 minutes, and you just feel kind of underwhelming.
Dire's middle tower
Whereas Batrider
has fallen.
always a relevant hero, even against what I would consider two of the best counters in the game. Technically three, because Void is also very, very good at counterplaying you. So you naturally bring the hero you're lassoing to your team, and then he chronos multiple heroes.
Yeah.
And you also used half your spell, so time dilation after the chrono is
Radiant's top
damn
tower
good
is
slow.
under attack.
And it doesn't matter. That's why the hero's first pick.
And I'm looking now also, though, it's like, well, Lanham is 11, he's got his veil up, and it feels like LGD.Forever Young are trying to make these big plays around teamfight ultimates, but it's like Pugna just throws a big old wrench right into their plans as soon as he gets that Nether Ward down. Like, all of their heroes need to spam out spells, at least to some regard, and they just get completely wrecked by it.
Yeah, it's actually such a smart pick with how it's worked out. You gotta give a lot of credit to teams when they pull this stuff off, because it is risky.
Oh, they drop it down
Great.
right off the bat, and Super gonna take a little bit of damage himself, even just from that Astral. And Ogre Magi trying to cast a spell is gonna die himself.
You might as well do whatever damage you can, right?
Yeah. Why not? Well, Xiao 8 pushing this lane down. But there is not really much he can do, and now ehome are just going to take this tier 2 tower completely abandoned. Like, the entire team has just realized they don't want to be here anymore, trying to see if they can find a kill. The rotation in, and God, Xiao 8 just takes a nice bit of damage, but the rest of the side of LFY is here. Monet Chronosphere available. There are, oof, you can't use that on Garter. Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I like the fact that Tinker's trying to bait it with the
Dire's
TP as
bottom
well.
tower has fallen.
There's
Radiant's top
just,
tower has
there's
fallen.
no real play for them right now, because team fights are effectively a no-go. Split pushing against Tinker is a losing game plan. He's just going to push the waves out most of the time. They do get the tower top lane after they rotate everyone, so they do get a trade for it, but it's not a winning trade by any means. You know, ehome still have their tier 1 mid lane up. This is the most important tower in the game. Dire have no outside towers up against a Tinker who thrives on having map control, and more importantly against a Batrider. Tinker gets scarier the later the game goes. He doesn't have the ability to just blow people up yet. He doesn't have Hex Dagon. Batrider, however, you know, he can play the vehicle and he can really exploit the fact that you have no towers up. Makes the game a lot harder to play. Every move has to be more calculated. It's like, okay, if this hero goes and pushes the lane, what happens when they get picked off? Well, shit goes bad if that happens, so we have to have this hero sit behind them. And then what happens when that hero is not sitting behind another hero that's pushing out away? These are all questions you have to continually ask yourself. And Oracle has to be in like two places
Radiant's
at
middle
once.
tower is under attack.
And
So
normally,
generally
like
it's going
you
to
were
have to be
saying,
behind the OD.
when you have the OD and that Oracle there that can help save each other, it's like it works in tandem, but and then you sort of have the follow-up play with the Chronosphere getting dropped onto somebody's head. That's the nice counter, but it just is all sort of the all-encompassing counter that is the Pugna, where if you start spamming out those spells, they just can't fight around it. And every time ehome sort of sets up on these engagements, Pugna just needs to lay it down there on the ground, and if there's even a chance that, I mean, I feel like they, LGD.Forever Young kind of have to bait out a Pugna ward and then wait for it to be done, but there's only a 5-second downtime between the duration and when it's not going to be up and when it's back up there, so it's like a really hard timing to find.
Yeah, they can also bait where they take the fight, but to be fair, it's not just Pugna being a good counter, it's the fact ehome is just ahead in general. And if you have these heroes that can save each other, it doesn't matter when your entire team's dying anyway. You know, if you delay the death by 4 seconds, maybe you get an extra spell off, but it all just comes down to ehome being so much further ahead and their cores doing more early. And then they picked a core that scales. I would say Tinker's the hardest carry in the game. If you give him money, he will make things happen that very few other heroes can. OD, I would say, is arguably the second hero on that list, but I think Tinker will always win.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, Sheepstick rearm is pretty frustrating. Like,
yeah, Sheepstick, E-Blade, Dagon,
yeah.
What can you do?
And
You have to rely on your teammates at that point, and they do have good heroes against Tinker, because they have Void to catch him out with after his initial blink. They've got the Beastmaster Hawk to provide vision when he goes into the trees. Beastmaster himself can actually solo kill Tinker if he ever actually finds him for once in this game, but he can't because he's always so scared of the rest of ehome's heroes.
Oh,
they're setting the tempo.
Vision.
Reactionary the entire time.
Oh god, they needed to find that initiation. Monet had a
this is good for them,
chrono
though.
potentially, and Old 11 is there. They have the Pugna ward. It's doing a lot of damage. The BKB is doing a good bit there to save the OD's life, and still Sylar is gonna jump forward. They catch the chrono onto 2. Is it gonna be enough though? Old 11's Gonzo, and Lanham looks like he's gonna be going down as well, but Old Chicken hops in. Oh man. And now the fireworks are really going. They've already killed off the 3 heroes. 4 goes down, and yeah, this is starting to feel almost impossible for LGD.Forever Young.
Yeah, they don't have the luxury of having the high ground defense that Tinker provided last game. So when the game starts going badly for them, they're going to lose real estate pretty quickly. Lifesteal's pretty comfortable pushing hero, and then you can add the Pugna on top of that when he respawns. They've even got
ehome
mech,
just
so
incredibly powerful, and Sylar's going to be able to take down this barracks. I guess Old Chicken just keep on coming back in, and I mean, they're comfortable pressuring like this because there's nothing that LGD.Forever Young can really do to stop it. Zhao Wei is there with his roar off cooldown in a second. Pressure is going to be applied to bottom lane now as well. Sylar dropping somewhat low, but they have Rage back up in the second, and they turn now onto Monet. The rolling boulder, it's super. Gets saved for a moment by the Oracle, but he can't right-click. He's still fatigued. Pops the BKB, turns on 11, doing a good bit of damage there, but there's the laser getting spammed out. They've already killed off the Bat Rider, though, and now also going to lose the Aegis from the Lifestealer. Old Chicken, untouched, just spamming out those rockets.
yeah, not a bad use of the Aegis because they secure the racks. I imagine they can go for more though. They should know Chrono's on cooldown for a tiny bit longer. Roughly coincides with the respawns. If they get another racks, highly doubtful. But they cement their advantage. And they can go back, pick up probably AC on Lifestealer. The Earth Spirit has 2k gold, so that's a blink, an Aether Lens, whatever he wants. Maybe even Ags if you're... Okay, Guardian Greaves.
Oh man. Well, LGD.Forever Young, and got a Diffusal Blade up on Faceless Void. I'm starting to wonder now as well if it's even worth it to try and just like... Because you need to take some type of offensive control of this game and, you know, gain a vision advantage, try and make some plays with smokes. And they're just so hemmed in, and there's going to be the movement. You have to expect this if you're ehome. There's no way that you don't think this is coming. And all right, yeah, counter smoke play. Who finds who? Looks like they're not going to
This is the best hope for LFY, because when you're smoked, you're naturally quite clumped, so if the Void can find a Chrono with some Hawk vision. Unfortunately, they don't have a smoked Hawk. That's a small problem. The Hawks move super slowly when they're not smoked. It doesn't look like they find anything. I think both teams realize they're on opposite sides of the map.
Old Chicken pretty comfortable with this now too, because they can start to push in and pressure this top tier 3 tower. And I think that if they set up with it again with the Pugna, there's not a whole lot that LGD.Forever Young can do to stop this.
There's an
even
arcane
if it's
rune
just
on Tinker as well.
the Lifestealer that wants to go for it, that'll be fine. But it looks like they're waiting with Old 11 to jump in and go for the backbreaker.
Yeah, they can just slow siege this. They don't even have the luxury of OD4 staffing someone in because of how Hurricane Bite works.
They are going to send in the Wolf for the Nether Ward, but the Nether jump, the Bat Rider can go for it if he wants to. Yeah, the Nether Ward's gone. They need to back out now.
It's up shortly though, so...
Zhao 8, roar. Oh, he gets caught out though, and Zhao 8's gone. No ulti from him. Monet also going to be controlled. He dropped the Chronosphere. It's pretty good. Connects on to 4. 1 already gone. Sylar taking the damage as well, but Lanham, it's not going to be enough. They drop down the Nether Ward now, and Yao is just going to die. 5 dead. Carnage in the middle lane, and GG gets called. The Pugna pick. Old Lanham teaching new dogs old tricks.
Yeah, it just coincided with their timings really well. And as much as I was fanboying the OD Oracle, I feel like maybe it was the Beastmaster that kind of didn't give them the timing they were looking for. Because OD and Void, they don't work in the first 15 minutes of the game if other heroes don't enable them. Void to an extent with Chrono, but it's a 2-minute cooldown. You can say the same thing for like Tidehunter. They don't do a lot early. So they needed a hero that did something, and unfortunately Beastmaster was not that hero. Whereas ehome, they had 4 heroes that did something throughout the first 10 minutes of the game. And those were the 10 minutes of the game that mattered the most, because they got on such a front foot. And then they had the Tinker to kind of cement any advantage.
Yeah. They played it pretty much perfectly at that point. So ehome are going to be your lower bracket, second team in the lower bracket finals. Already CDEC have been dropped down from the upper bracket. We were starting at 6 teams at the start of today, and now we're down to just the final 3. The final set of games is going to be taking place tomorrow, a best of 3 first, which is ehome facing off against CDEC, and then the winner of that series is going to then move on to face Newbie in that best of 5. Shanghai Dota 2 Open. We're going to be continuing forward with that one tomorrow. Been Lyrical, joined as well by PqMz. Follow us on Twitter if you feel so inclined, but make sure that you keep on following this tournament. Thank you so much for joining me through the evening. It's been a very long couple of days casting Dota, and I really appreciate the company. I did 17 yesterday, slept for 4 hours. Now it's the other 9 that we did together. Any final shout-outs or anything that you want to give before we sign off for the last time tonight?
No, thank you for having me, dude, and I hope you get some sleep now. You're massively overworked.
That's it. I mean, nobody would have it any other way. Hope that you guys have a good one. Be sure to hit this man up on Twitter and all the other fine places that you can find him, whether it be in your pubs or wherever else.
I don't play Dota, so that's not happening.
All right. See you guys tomorrow, and have a great one.